On this is Mitch from PickDogs.com here with Steve Monahan, of course, also a pick dog himself. Of course, here every Sunday morning, Steve is with me, as well as Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday afternoons. Probably going to have to change that up a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to work it. We'll figure it out. We always do, right? It's always work. Two things about the stuff I do. It's always a work in progress, and we always figure it out with the show still going on. You know, like, the show, it's not like, oh, we'll take 3 weeks and we'll sit down, we'll figure it out, we'll talk to some people, we'll come up with some ideas, whatever. We'll turn the camera on, we'll go live, and we'll talk about games that are going on that day. It could become a college basketball show. We'll do bowl previews and college basketball stuff, and I don't know, maybe even some sports news. And speaking of sports news, I never have a problem with Colin Kaepernick, his stance that he has. I don't have any opposition. I believe what he's saying. Okay, I believe in what he's saying. I think it has the truth. I think it is the truth. I think that his protesting of it came across, and I'm not saying anything about his position. I'm just saying the way the original protest on the very first day that he did it came across is that he was too lazy to stand up, because he never said anything, he never did anything, he just sat there on the bench while everybody else got up and stood. He never said that there was a purpose or anything like that. They called him out on it, and then he took a stand. Now, he did stand behind it after he took a stand, but he didn't say it first, so how in the hell is anybody supposed to know anything? Now, number two, okay, the big one for me on Kaepernick, and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong here. When he came back after the 2016 season, when he was no longer with the 49ers, and he talked to other teams about joining the roster, he even tried out with some teams, Seattle Seahawks, tried out with a few other teams. Seattle Seahawks had Boykin at the time as their backup, who was, outside of his another off the field guy. But, on the field, he probably would be similar.
He was an off-the-field guy even at TCU, boys.
On the field, he was kind of like a sturdier Lamar Jackson type, right? Kind of like, with a better arm, I would say. Arguably a stronger arm and sturdier. Maybe not as fast, but almost as fast. Really, a very similar player to Lamar Jackson. But aside from that, right, let's go back to what I was talking about. And he asked for starter money. He wanted $23 to $25 million a year to be a backup, and he was going to be a backup. So in a salary cap system, I don't understand how you could pay a backup quarterback $23 to $25 million, or how anyone can accept that. And then when you don't, when no one will pay you it, you complain about it. It's like, I could see an incentive-laced contract with a reasonable backup quarterback base, loaded with incentives if he becomes a starter and reaches these certain benchmarks. And I'm not even saying that he's got to reach those benchmarks, over the course of the season. They could even be prorated benchmarks, saying that if he gets into 8 games, then this kicks in, and then if this is based on 8 games, this is based on 7 games. This is, but
that's
he wouldn't even do
unreasonable.
that. He wouldn't even do that. He wanted $25 million a year to sit on the bench behind Russell Wilson. He's not Russell Wilson is a better quarterback than this guy. I'm sorry, man. He is. Russell Wilson wins Super Bowls.
$35 million.
Russell Wilson wins Super Bowls. This guy loses Super Bowls. What he does is he turns the lights out, right, to try and delay. Stall tactics. I don't know.
No, Kaepernick obviously yesterday was the circus for that. To your point, who the hell's paying him $20+ million? No, nobody. So if he wants a job now, he wants a job in the NFL, he's going to have to take, obviously a very small salary in comparison to what an NFL quarterback gets, just to get his foot in the door if this guy's serious. Or, I'm tired of this, to be honest with you. Good luck to any team that signs them in the circus that ensues with it.
Yeah, on this question here, it's Team A versus Team B with a point spread. Right there.
Yep.
we'll get to some of these other questions in just a second. But good morning to everyone. And, he got in his settlement from the NFL, like $60-70 million. He totally sold out, He didn't stay there and hold his point. He sold out. So for me, I never had a problem with his original things that he said.
Right.
I have no problem with any of that. And I believe there's a lot of truth to it. A lot of truth to it. If not, it's all true. But it's disingenuous when you start getting paid off, and then the argument that people are alienating you, or working against you and colluding against you and all that other stuff. That argument goes out the window Steve. So if I show up if I hold a tryout, right, for the NFL tomorrow, right, I got the money, right, I could host it, I could rent an arena, and I could do all that stuff, right. I just write a check. Believe me, I could do it. I invite all 32 NFL teams. If no one signs me, is that collusion? If I ask for, I don't know, 32 million a season, and I start throwing some balls, I'll get guys from our old flag football team. We'll get Punky in here, and Rob.
The only way it happens is having Ken Wait, your Leo Farnsworth or Joe Pendleton, and by the LA Rams.
It's exactly what this is. It's exactly what this is.
Quarterback.
It's exactly what this is. All right, I don't even understand it. It's like there's two sides. There's two parts of this. One is the activist side, and one is the football side. And from a pure football side, if this guy's getting $25 million, well, I mean, the argument is, well, Ryan Tannehill got 25. It's like, he did, right? I mean, that's the argument. Colts versus Jags. For me, this is a premium pick today, Steve. Who you got?
I have the Jaguars coming in to the Colts. I'll take the Jaguars. Jacoby Brissett is back with the Colts. I believe Nick Foles is actually should be starting on in a couple hours. But I think the Jaguars really they got to start making a push here for the playoffs or to get back into contention. Leonard Fournette, etc. I'll take the Jags on the road here.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that the Jags are 3-1 against the number on the road. Pretty good road team. I think this is a close one, is what I say.
I think so.
I think this is a close game, and I gotta say, even though it's a premium pick, like I said, I really don't like the Colts kicking game. I really don't like it. I mean, Adam Vinatieri has become. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's very few Hall of Fame kickers out there, and he's an automatic. There's very few Hall of Fame kickers, and kickers that are first ballot Hall of Famers. I mean, kickers and punters got to be the hardest thing. It's kind of how relief pitchers were always treated in baseball, which now they get a little bit more respect because they pitch a lot more than they used to. But kickers and punters, I mean, some of these guys have been game changers, And like Ray Guy, he was as effective as any defensive player that's ever played the game.
Ray Guy was bona fide Hall of Famer.
Bona fide Hall of Famer. This team was playoff teams every year, and he was not like just the punter and a dispensable piece of the thing. He was a major thing. It was like, we got him to punt. Yeah, unfortunately, it's this guy. It's like he was the first guy to hit the gondola in the Superdome.
I mean, he could boom it. I mean, Ray Guy. Outside of Sammy Baugh before our time, Sammy Baugh, the quarterback, but it was renowned punter. And I think Sammy Baugh's average is right up there in the NFL record territory. But Ray Guy was such a difference maker for the Raiders, man. And the special teams.
Absolutely. He invented the coffin corner. Hang time was his. When Ray Guy was the first punter, that when they used to put a clock as to how long the hang time was on punts on the corner during NFL broadcasts. It was something that they tried, and it left after Ray Guy left the league. But Adam Vinatieri, I think, is in that, as far as clutch field goals, he's been in a lot of big games. He's been on a lot of good teams, but he's hit those field goals that have put the teams into those big games and have won those big games. So I mean, he's had 2 Super Bowl winning kicks, right?
It's just that Father Time has caught up to him, and that
right.
the Colts have to deal with it right now, and it's a problem for him.
Right,
so.
and he's big money on the payroll there too. But
he is.
Kickers and
so
punters.
I'll take the Jags, though. I'm taking the Jags on the road.
It's rare you see a kicker have this kind of longevity. It just is. Morton Anderson, Jan Stenerud, this guy. I mean, you can name them. I think Tucker and Zerline are in that category of great kickers, and Hauschka was always in there. But I think that Vinatieri's kind of even on a higher level than those guys. Maybe not quite the leg that they have as far as the distance, but certainly is when it comes to Mr. Clutch and game winners. Man, this guy's on all of them.
Hall of Famer. The other guys.
I think if you go by highlight real time alone, he's played with 2 of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game. I mean,
it's true.
Tom Brady and then Peyton Manning. Of course, the Tom Brady, he also played with Drew Bledsoe. That's how long he's been around. This is it's Team A versus Team B with the point spread. Cardinals plus 10 versus 49ers. These teams just played a few weeks ago in Arizona. San Francisco dominated the game, and then late in the game, it was that wide receiver from UMass. I can't remember his name. I know all the fantasy players know who he is. He's that really, really fast wide receiver that was at UMass in that passing game under Mark Whipple that they had.
Good name, Mark Whipple.
Gotta have Whipple. He was actually the offensive coordinator for the Hurricanes for a little bit.
That's right.
Didn't last long. Let's just say not.
He moved around pretty much.
not popular. About as popular. It was kind of like the Miami fans. It's like in order to get them to buy into your offensive system, you got to win games. It was like Dennis Erickson and the one back. It's like we hate the one back. Hey, this one back it kind of works.
It's pretty successful. Winning another national championship.
It's like we win 45 games in a row. One back.
Right.
But anyways, I think the Cardinals are playing tough. One thing that we know with teams that lose a game, we haven't seen the Patriots since they've lost, but we know that once teams lose a game, kind of they crack the seal, and it's kind of like now losing can happen.
Correct.
Does it happen to the 49ers here?
I don't think so. I think the Niners are a really good team right now. That loss aside, again, it was an overtime loss. It wasn't like they got smoked at all. Cards are playing well, I'll grant you that. Kyler Murray, even for a rookie, is, he's progressing well. But I think the Niners, with their defense and Garoppolo's efficient, I'll take the Niners here to rebound.
I'll take the Niners in this one as well. This is kind of like the Fox game that they have to have for those markets just in case, to cover their home team and all that other stuff. Meanwhile, I guess that market, we don't have this anymore because we don't have a home team for football, but blackouts and stuff, like if your home team is on and they don't show the Patriots-Eagles game or something, it's like, ouch.
Right.
I don't miss those days, I'll tell you that much.
Well. So what else we got?
Kyler Murray, is a guy that I kind of bashed in the draft, and I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think he went too high. So Tua Tagovailoa, who I said gets knocked around like a rag doll when they put the pass rush on him, now got tossed around the field and is out, broken hip. I wish him well, and I hope that he's able to come back. I mean, that's the type of injury that could be a career ender. I don't know. They've been mighty hush on this thing. It's been a day, and it's been the top story. It's been almost 24 hours, and we have not heard about the severity of this injury because I believe it is which to me makes me believe that this is a big one, that this could be a career ender. And
definitely going to affect his draft status, obviously. I mean, pegged as a top.
No. He could.
We shall see. Well, depending on the severity of it.
He could stay. He could stay another year. He could redshirt and stay another year. He played as a true freshman. He's got 2 years to work on the draft. Believe me, he takes a red shirt and he comes back. It's like Mackenzie Milton, same thing, at Central Florida, another Hawaii quarterback, right, with a serious injury. But, he takes the year off. He can come back next year and play again. Believe me, Central Florida will welcome him with open arms if he can make it back on the field in the same form that he was in. And I think Alabama would welcome Tua back as well. It would mess up their recruiting a little bit for sure if that was the case, but we'll see what happens. He could also do the transfer, because these days the transfer portal, guys can play, but he does have 2 more years left.
I know. So we'll see what happens with the injury, but feel bad for him.
Also, the year that he played in that national championship game, he only played in the second half of one game. I believe he can call that a redshirt year as well. That one, if he doesn't, and he could also file for the NCAA for a 6th year. There's so many different possibilities there. But once again, we have not heard the severity of that injury. Of course, if you're watching us, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up. It's always greatly appreciated. Of course, I'm Mitch, and we got Steve Monahan. He joins us 4 times a week right now. We're still working through it. Steve has a schedule, and my schedule is to be here. But let's get to
work it out. We'll work it out.
Yep. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. I mean, this YouTube channel is still only 2 months old. We got nearly 5,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable for a 2-month-old channel. Totally. Meanwhile, we got the Falcons versus the Panthers. This one is an interesting game in that the Falcons looked really good last week against the Saints. The Panthers, this team is up and down, up and down, up and down, but they're home in this one. The Falcons going outside onto the grass. We got, Matt Ryan looked healthier last week than we've seen him in a while. The Falcons pretty much need to win out if they want to even have a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, what are the chances of them winning out? I don't see it. I like that the Panthers are home. I think the Panthers are obviously a better team. Falcons been way too inconsistent, regardless of them pasting the Saints last week. I'll take the Panthers at home.
Yeah, I like the Panthers in this one too. I think that they're able to get the pressure on Matt Ryan, and I think that's going to be the difference. The Saints were unable to really pressure Matt Ryan when they needed to make stops. They were unable to make stops, and I also think that McCaffrey is that piece that makes the difference here for the Panthers. And I think that, with the Saints kind of, as much as, you'd rather have Drew Brees than Teddy Bridgewater in there. Bridgewater actually did some things nicely that Drew Brees doesn't do, and I don't really want to go into it because I'm not going to win this argument with anybody. I know that, so I'm not even going to go there with it. But what I'll say is that sometimes Drew Brees throws the 6-yard pass on 3rd and 10, and he does do that. And I mean, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about the guy with like the most passing yards, the most touchdowns, whatever, right? I'm going to pick apart like
touchdown,
let's just say that Drew Brees' numbers against the spread are not that good, because when the Saints are good, generally they're seen as this high-flying team, and then and they really sometimes aren't. That great Saints team that won the Super Bowl was really a team that returned a lot of fumbles for touchdowns. A lot. It was like kind of like Alabama a few years ago, where it's like they scored a defensive touchdown like every single game. If you score a defensive touchdown every single game, you're going to the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. If you can do it in the playoffs and everything, if you score a defensive touchdown every single game, you're going to the Super Bowl or the college football national championship, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I did a video on this game, Seton Hall against St. Louis. I love college basketball. There's a lot of things I like about college basketball. Number one, 400 and something teams. So it gives me a lot to dig through. It gives me something to do, during the day, digging through all these teams. Seton Hall is a pretty good team. I picked them against Michigan State on my video the other day. They were getting 6 points in that game, lost by 3. Same thing as winning by 50 if you're taking the points. Meanwhile, St. Louis, I really like this team. This is the best St. Louis has looked since Rick Majerus was there. And when Rick Majerus was there, St. Louis was great. They had the recruiting down, they had everything going. They have things going in the right direction. The thing about both these teams is they're both kind of cover teams, teams that cover a lot of games. St. Louis is home in this one. I think Seton Hall might win the game, but I like St. Louis with the points. Steve?
So Seton Hall is actually pretty good. Their coach Kevin Willard actually had he got his hand slapped for some recruiting things.
That's college basketball.
Oh, it's minor. He sat for 2 games. The guy is a good coach. Seton Hall's in my backyard. I follow them. They're a good team this year, so I'll actually take Seton Hall here.
The very, very best college basketball coaches outside of Coach K and Calipari, and even those guys, right? Well, Calipari, I would say more so than Coach K, but
Roy Williams
and Izzo, outside these guys and Self, who, I mean, he didn't fall into this category, but now he's got the FBI investigation, right? So it's a little different story, But the very, very best coaches of that, after you get past the top 5, that kind of get all their guys, you get into the Bruce Pearls and below, and Bruce Pearl, he'll have like 10 really good guys, a few All-Americans mixed in, and then the one guy, he's not eligible until the day the season starts. Either he's going to be eligible or he's not going to be eligible. If he makes it, they're really good. If he doesn't make it, they're good, but they're not good enough. And the very, very best, guys like Bruce Pearl, that is his teams every single year. Always seems to have that guy who's kind of like, he's right on the edge. It's like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he, it's like, there's always these guys, college basketball, it just seems, of all sports, because there's so much riding on it. There's just so much money riding on college hoops. It's crazy because everyone, college football is, such a big sport, but college hoops, I mean, look at, even Notre Dame joined a conference for college hoops. I mean, that's how big this is. And Notre Dame, they even did it, calculated. They even gave away football matchups, like we'll play 4 ACC teams a year to get into your conference. And they were a natural fit. There's 2 teams in the ACC that the Big East would love to have, right? I mean, they would love to have Boston College, and it's the Catholic Conference. They don't have Boston College or Notre Dame. It's like, it's kind of, I mean, we don't get into religion and politics on this show, but I would say if you're a Catholic Conference, those are probably 1 and 2 of the teams that you would want in your conference.
There's out.
That those are your teams, but college basketball just so much money involved, and the players just 1 or 2 guys in a college game can make a gigantic difference, because it's not like the NBA where everybody on the roster can play. It's
right.
Like, I mean, you look at these NBA rosters, even like the Carolinas and Dukes of the world, they're not all over the place. Like, it's like you see a lot of guys that you don't even know where they went to school, and you never heard of them before. So, it's just limited space. I mean, one guy can make a huge difference in college basketball. I mean, we saw John Morant in Murray State last year. I mean,
no doubt.
Absolutely a difference maker.
Yep.
Carolina and Atlanta, back to this one, got the total 48.5.
I like the under here.
I think I like the under as well in the Falcons Panthers.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the over. I'm going to go over Falcons Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to score some points here.
Okay.
Rams Bears. I have a premium pick on this one.
I like the Rams. I like the Rams at home. Listen, the Bears got a good defense. Not saying they don't, but the Trubisky factor on the road. And again, I still think the Rams, because they've been struggling. Let's face it, but they're too talented, I think, not to start really scoring a hell of a lot of points. Very concerned now about Jared Goff. I know I've been touting him, but he's been playing like shit the last, basically the whole season.
How about since he was at Cal? All right. How about Tootsie was in Cal?
I'm not going that far.
I'll go that far back. I'll go high school if I have
take
to on
Rams
this one.
today against the Bears, guys.
I'll go high school on this one. But Jared Goff, let's take a look at his senior year at Cal. I mean, come on. How is this guy the first overall pick? The Bears are 6-0, right, to start the season. They go 6-6. It's 100% his fault. I would say just like Carson Palmer winning the Heisman Trophy, it's like, how is this possible when you had a 5-interception game, over the course of the year? It's like, it's this ESPN eye test bullshit. It's like, well, it did. All of a sudden you have to act like it didn't happen. Just like I'm dying to see what happens with this Oklahoma thing because they had this big comeback against Baylor. Meanwhile, Baylor got zero respect from the committee, right? 0, 0, 0. So does Oklahoma beating them? Does that all of a sudden? Well, they beat Baylor, right? Is that all of a sudden catapult them? It's like this is a team that you had ranked below Penn State, who now we know is not a good team, right? Now we know the Penn State could be the worst one-loss team I've seen in a long time.
I think Penn State's big trouble going into the horseshoe.
I don't know what the line is on that one, but I'm going to guess 15 or more. I mean, they're going to get run.
It'll be over 10. I'll say it's
they got zero chance. I thought a few weeks ago that Penn State had a chance. No, don't even show up. Really, don't even bother showing. If you're going to bring that crap that you brought yesterday, your home field against Indiana, you're going to bring that second half crap, the same second half crap we saw against Michigan, the same second half crap that we saw there, and the same second half crap and first half crap we saw at Minnesota. Don't even bother showing up because I don't even want to watch it because I don't even like listening to Gus Johnson for 5 minutes, let alone 3.5 hours, man. I ain't going to do it. You're going to go on the top TV is what's going to happen.
That's right.
No sound.
Bam.
People ask me, did you hear what this guy... No, I mean, I would say 90+% of the games I watch with no sound, and I never watch SportsCenter. I never watch the preview shows. I never watch any of that stuff. And 90% of the games I watch without sound. So, no, I did not hear what he said. The only thing that I heard yesterday in the game that I thought was really interesting was that they said that the Minnesota... who was it? The Indiana... long snapper was one of the most talented in the country. I didn't think you could say talented and long snapper in the same sense. To me, the long snapper is an insult to every other player that plays football. And
Yep.
I'm not going to go into it because I'm sure we got some long snappers out there. But
we don't want to offend our long snapper contingent.
Well, I'll tell you, I think they're offensive to the rest of the entire football population.
Well,
I don't even...
They perform a duty and a role, so what can you say?
Oh, my God.
They get paid a handsome salary to snap a ball.
Texans, Ravens, over under 51.5. I like the under.
I like the under as well.
First 1 to 20 in this one, I would say.
They're good defenses in this game.
Writing it all down.
That should be a good game, too.
Redskins, Jets. Redskins minus 2.5. We got Haskins in this one. Jets
know.
team coming off of the big win last week, but now it's a road game. So the Jets have 2 wins this season, both against this conference.
This conference.
And
Could be a third time, but I'll take the Redskins at home. I hate to do it with Haskins starting, but I think the Jets being on the road, coming off of an emotional win against the Giants, the Jets are way too inconsistent. Their offensive line is awful. Bell has yet to really have a breakout game. He hasn't even hit 100 yards yet in a game. Sam Darnold's been very inconsistent. So the Washington secondary versus the Jets receivers, I'll take Washington in a crap game, Jets, Redskins.
I like the Jets in this one. Yeah, I'll take them. I don't know. I've gone back and forth on this, but I don't know. Haskins, I just don't see it. It's just I don't like it.
I don't see it either, so they better rush the ball.
Yeah. Bengals versus Raiders. I put a premium pick in on this one, so it's all you.
I like the Raiders at home all the way. I'm not taking Ryan Finley on the road. Bengals yet to win, obviously. Raiders are need a win, and the fact that they're home and juiced by the home crowd. Josh Jacobs has been running real well. He's actually got the Raiders rookie record already. He's got 811 yards, so he's actually panned out from Alabama. Derek Carr is efficient. Raiders defense, Gruden, etc., etc. I don't see the Bengals winning here. I'll take the Raiders in the points.
I don't think it's Finley's fault. I think it's everything else on that team.
No, I'm not pinpointing on Ryan Finley. But the Bengals, they can't get out of their own way. Zach Taylor looking for his first win as a head coach. Not happening, I don't think, on the road.
Cap is better than a few QBs playing now. Name three. Name three that make $25 million that he's better than. Name one quarterback that makes $25 million.
Eli Manning is the only backup I can think of making over $20 million.
Maybe Marcus Mariota, but I don't even know if he makes that.
He's in the ballpark, I would think, as a starting quarterback. So that's two. Is he better than those two?
I don't know if he's better than Mariota.
I don't think so. But Eli's broken down now at age 38, so that's not a fair comparison.
Let's see if we can get a salary here on Marcus. $20.9 million, so he makes $5 million less than what Cap wants.
Yep.
I just think, I don't know if that's what he still wants. I'm not sure.
Nobody is paying him that kind of money. It's just not happening. It's just not happening.
The questions here are Team A versus Team B versus the point spread if you're asking about a game. Not like that. This guy, he was new. This Gucci was new, but now, he's been in the audience a bunch of times, so you don't get any more passes. No, we didn't do this one yet. Cowboys, Lions. The line is climbing. I saw it at 7.
7.5 now, isn't it?
Is it? Let's take a look at the latest, greatest. So we got the VCU game starting in just a couple minutes while I'm looking up the line on this thing. VCU against Jacksonville State. This is an interesting game. I did a video on it. If you haven't watched my video on some of these games today, I think you guys, like our regular crowd, really would like my Georgetown, Georgia State video today. I think you guys are really going to like it. It's because it's one of our games. There's games out there. That's why, how did I get so popular over the years? The Georgetown, Georgia State games, stuff like that. I think I got the NBA odds now. Let me see what's going on here. So the Cowboys now are we're starting to move into the territory. If we move through the 7, and we are at 7.5. So I see 7s at the Westgate. I see 7 at MGM, 7.5 at BetMGM, 7 at William Hill, 7 at Cantor, and 7 at Circus. So I'm going to call this one 7. At 7, I'm iffy. I do not like the way the Cowboys have played on the road at all. But don't get me wrong. The Lions, this has been a throwout when they had Stafford for me. I was more when Steve took the Lions in a couple. The Lions and the Cardinals early this season, I was pretty critical of those teams. But I have to say, well, all right. Well, I'm sugarcoating a little bit. I was pretty down on both of them. But actually, I've seen things, at least from the Cardinals, where I kind of understand. It's like, if I can at least understand where you're going.
Yeah. The Cardinals have played better,
right.
I think.
No, the Cardinals have played better and you can start to see that they just need pieces to fill in the puzzle. Right, and it's a matter of if they can keep the pieces that they have while they fill in the puzzle. That is the big NFL puzzle these days. It's no longer, you build a team and then you fill in a few pieces and then that's it. What you have to do is you basically have to build the whole puzzle in 1 or 2 seasons, and then you have 1 or 2 seasons to fill in the pieces, and then that's it, because everybody leaves because you only have X amount that you can spend, and you got the cap, and then if you massage the cap or whatever, you pay for it for the next 10 years, right? And we see this all the time. But I got this one at 7. At 7, I'm lukewarm on the Cowboys. I do not like how they played on the road this season at all. I think hey Sam, it's when you lose to the Jets on the road, you certainly are capable of losing to the Lions. You are, and I don't know. I'm back and forth on this. I just am. It's like the Cowboys. They lost at home last week against the Vikings too. I thought this was my Super Bowl team. This was my Super Bowl team.
You have predicted this team, this very inconsistent Dallas Cowboys team. But this is a must-win game for them because they keep saying their schedule is getting harder. And the fact that they're playing at Detroit, I think Elliott will run for over 120. I think Dak he hasn't been the problem, Dak. I really don't think so. I can see the Cowboys sticking it to the Lions today and getting a win. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I feel good about this.
Any truth to the rumor that Jerry Jones has invited Lincoln Riley and his entire family for Thanksgiving dinner at Cowboy Stadium?
I'm not going to discount that.
But my uncles and wife and kids.
Especially after Lincoln's big win over Baylor.
It's like, let me make a call. I think I got a few extra tickets.
Well, those rumors are going to get hot and heavy as the months come.
I'm gonna fuel the fire. I believe I've started the rumor, and I will continue to fuel the fire.
No, I'm with you. I think Lincoln Riley's a viable target. There's no question.
It's such a logical thing, And I think if Tom Herman would have done a nice job at Texas, he would have been the other guy in the discussion. But he hasn't been good enough. So it's.
Yeah. I still think Tom Herman's going to turn Texas around. I think he's a good coach.
Nope.
No, not this year, obviously, but I think they're heading in the right direction recruiting.
I don't think so. Don't like them. Dolphins versus Bills. Once again, bad point spread in this, from what I'm seeing. So we're going to ignore it. We don't do it if the point spread's 2 points off, like that one. We're not going to do it. Good morning, you guys. Ready to make some money? What do you think, Carolina is? We did this game already. That's what we think. There's a lot of stuff. Bucks +5 versus Saints -5. I gave out a pick on the game and the premium on the total. I like the over.
Yeah, I see points being scored here, but I like the Saints to rebound. I think the Saints will. Michael Thomas will have a big day, and I like the Saints here to cover.
The Bucs games have been high scoring this year.
Yeah, Bruce Arians bringing his offensive magic.
And Bucs,
even to Jameis Winston, Mr. Crab Legs. So
Hawks versus Lakers -13.5. I did a video on this game over on YouTube. I do videos on every NBA game every single day, so be sure to check those out. But one thing I've been talking about the Hawks is. This team has been on the road for about 4 months. I know the NBA season's only been on less than a month. I mean, the NBA season's only, it seems like it's been going for a while, but it's really only been going since the end of October. So it hasn't even been a month. But I think the Hawks have been on the road for 4 months. And it seems like I thought they were heading back east, and I haven't looked at the schedule, and that's what I'm looking at right now. But it looked like the way the schedule was running that they were moving back east. And then all of a sudden, they head back west again. So it was like they were at the Trailblazers, right? So they're in Portland. Then it looked like they were heading back east because they go to Denver, play the Nuggets. Then they go to Phoenix and play the Suns. And then they go back out west again. So the Clippers last night, another game at the Staples Center, back-to-back games at the Staples Center. This is like the Buffalo Bills. Remember they played the Jets and the Giants in consecutive weeks at
the Meadowlands, right?
But, the Hawks, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row on the road, all the way out west. And you got to remember, Atlanta. So there's 2 ways to look at it. One is, man, this is a long road trip. And, man, they're a long way from home for a long time. Yeah. But the other side of it is, hey, they're getting this all out of the way. So, it's something to keep in mind later when we see that, this horrific record on the road trip. And, the Hawks' really bad record. We're going to get the benefit of this later on at home, So we got to just remember this stuff. This is the important stuff. I mean, and the Hawks have played a tough schedule. It's not like these West teams are the cream puffs. They're cream puffs. Blazers, Nuggets, Suns, Clippers, Lakers. Ouch. Before that, Heat twice, Sixers. This is like no fun at all. I don't care. You know what? I think the Lakers can name their number. Last night, I gave out the Clippers as a premium pick. They scored 150 points against this Hawks defense. Trae Young is a nice player, but he's one of those guys, and I talk about these guys all the time in college basketball, especially, is where you see them, where they kind of get injured, right? And they kind of, because they play a lot. Trae Young is a full game guy. And he's one of these guys that, if he's injured, it's always on defense, but on offense, he's fine, And it's like the Hawks' whole team is like that. And I just think against LeBron James and Anthony Davis and Kyle Kuzma and the Lakers team that now really is the team to beat in the West, it's another name your number game. And it's like, if they give up 150, they're not going to give up 150 to the Lakers, but it might be 137. So,
no. It'll be north of 120. So yeah, I love the Lakers there.
It's going to be a lot to a little. I know that much. I'm going to take the Lakers.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's like the load management, and stuff in the NBA. It's like they can load manage all they want. I think the Hawks, like I said, they've just been on the road forever. It's like this is like the circus road trip that the Bulls used to take, and I know the circus doesn't go anymore, but man, the Bulls used to go on that circus road trip when the circus was at the United Center, and they would have to go on the road for like 2 weeks at a time plus. It's like, oh my God. Broncos Vikings over under 40.
Oh, I love this game. I like the Vikings at home. I like the over. I think points will be scored here, mainly by the Vikings, Dalvin Cook and company. I think they play well at home. This is Brandon Allen's first road start for the Broncos. So I like the Vikings here.
Yeah, I'll take the over 40. It seems like a very low number.
Yeah.
Congrats on your championship, Steve. Still feeling the accolades here.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a great week. Happy for our kids. It was a thrilling game. And, now the kids move on to high school next year. Can't ask for a better way to go out. So I appreciate the thanks from the audience.
Of course, if you're watching us, if you could hit the thumbs up, it's greatly appreciated. We got 191 people watching and 65 thumbs up. The math doesn't add up there for me. I'm not going to sit here and beg for thumbs up and be like some of the other guys. I'm not giving out any more picks if you don't give me any thumbs up. It's like, but I'm going to say, if you guys could just give me a few thumbs up, it's greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. Less than 50% of the people that watch our show subscribe to our channel. It hurts. It hurts.
All right.
It's, I'm a sensitive guy, everyone knows I can dish it out, but I can't take it. Everybody knows that, okay? So, thank you guys for all the thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It also helps us a ton as far as like getting into the search in YouTube and the suggested videos and all that other stuff. And the more people that watch our show, the more we're able to put into it. I can get rid of this crappy background. Steve will get him an actual camera. It's like we're gonna have a real show.
Can't wait.
We're gonna have a real show. Not gonna cost as much as that Picks and Parlay show, but it's gonna be a good show. Meanwhile, Patriots versus the Eagles. Pats minus 4.5 on the road in Philly. They've had a week off to think about this one and 2 years to think about this one. I know a lot of the players are gone. It's the NFL. Half the teams are gone. Carson Wentz sure as hell didn't play in that game. But Tom Brady did. And so did James White. And so did some of these other guys.
Julian Edelman may have played in that game.
Yep. So
I've been back and forth all week. I liked the Eagles earlier in the week, and of course, subject to change before game time. I like the Pats on the road here, and I got to go with the Pats here.
I like the Pats too. I just think it's too much time to give Belichick for a game like this, and it's like the Patriots they schedule well. I don't know how they get these schedules every year, but it seems that they catch everybody normally on when everybody's injured. It's like they play against more teams with their backup quarterbacks.
That's the thing about the Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey's out. Deshaun Jackson obviously is out. The running game, I think Jordan Howard has been ruled out. So I think
they brought back Joseph Ajayi.
Yeah, Ajayi is starting. Who's to say this guy? He's an NFL running back, but
No,
let's be real. He's going against the Patriots, which is one of the top-ranked defenses out there.
Well, they played against the softest schedule in the NFL. They've only played one team with a winning record, or two. They've only played two teams with a winning record this season, and they're 1-1 in those games.
I get you.
Remember that, and they didn't cover in either of them. So I don't know. I think you give Bill Belichick 2 weeks. You might say, "Oh, we took some time off" or whatever. He didn't take any time off. I think he game planned for this game, and it's like we got the the Eagles next and whatever, and he's been game planning this game for 2 weeks. It's like giving Nick Saban a month. It's usually a bad idea.
Yep.
I'm really interested in the to see what happens with these rankings though, with Alabama with Tua out, because the committee always says, well, this guy's out and whatever. Be interesting to see if Oregon jumps them or if I think it'll be Georgia jumping them. And then if Georgia can win the SEC championship, then we will have two SEC teams. But if not, I still like the Ducks, man. I think. How
far up do you think Utah is going to move up? Boy, did they kick the shit out of UCLA.
Yeah, but UCLA is not considered
I know, not a quality opponent. I get that,
problem,
but it is a problem. But they look very impressive, is my point, Utah.
Good morning, Carmella.
Carmella.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to hit the thumbs up.
Please, Carmella, hit the thumbs up.
Please, we beg of you. I'm not asking for much, man. It's a one little thing. You shrink the comments if you're watching on the phone. You hit the thumbs up, and then it says live chat. You just hit it right back. I wish I had the phone with me. It's right over there. I should have had Sam bring it to me when he came back in. Patriots people forget what they can do. I don't know what that means, but I think I don't think anyone has forgotten anything that the Patriots can do. They've got a bunch of Super Bowls, and they seem to be in it almost every single season. And I would say the seasons, even that they don't go to the Super Bowl, that the Super Bowl has gone through them. So, I don't know. Steve, have you forgot what the Patriots can do?
The Patriots, but it's impossible right now. So, right?
I mean, believe me, I know my phone is going to be lit up later on this afternoon. So.
Oh, yes.
No, I don't. I look at inverse line movement, but I rarely look at. I consider juice part of line movement, the same thing. So, Christian Kirk is his name. Christian Kirk is a guy that also played at Texas A&M.
I was just going to say, that's right. Is it the Christian Kirk?
That guy's super fast. How about a 2-team 6-point teaser? I don't do teasers, but I have a video out there as to why I don't do teasers, and you can watch it on our YouTube channel. It's under "How to Win at Sports Betting" is the category, and I say why I don't bet teasers because. And I'll give you the brief summary. Let's just say it's really hard to win one game, right? Let's just say it's really hard when you're betting to win one game. It's really hard to win. 55% is even harder. 60%, when you get beyond 60%, rock star, off the chart, whatever, right? Tim Donaghy, who was fixing games in the NBA, the referee, the differential in the games that he refereed was 0.2%, and they were able to peg him on fixing games on the differential, win rate, on a points bet differential win rate of 0.2%. That's how hard it is to win, okay? Is that we're talking like 57.8 to 58%. It was something in that weird range. It was like 57.6 and 57.8. It was like, not like, oh my God, it was these weird things in 75% of his games or anything like that. It was 0.2%. So when you start getting into teasers, where I know you're getting extra points and, laying less points and all that other stuff, none of that stuff matters. It's still multiple actions to achieve a lower payout. They're reducing your payout for those points. So when you have to win multiple games to get a less payout, that's called buying high and selling low. So when you're getting a less payout on these teaser bets, right? When you're getting a less payout, it gives you less of a bankroll to withstand the losing teaser bets. So basically, not only do you have to win more games to cash the bet, you also have to win more teaser bets than you would have to win the other way. So my philosophy with teasers, if you feel you need 6 extra points, hey, that's a nice cushion. Take the other team. You know, it's like if you feel you got a 6-point cushion with the other team, take them, bet them straight. You have to win one game, and it's basically minus 110 juice. It's like, this is simple math, you know? This is simple math. It's like, winning one game is hard enough. If you look at the teasers and how often that 6 points actually factors in to there, I think we should probably do a study on that and figure it out, because I bash them all the time, but I never really look at the numbers. But it's like, it wouldn't have helped you in the Oklahoma game yesterday. You know, I know that much. And a 7-point teaser wouldn't have helped you. And in most of the games, it wouldn't have helped you in Alabama. It would have helped you in the Oregon game. But you could have bought a half a point in the one, you know, instead of the 6. It was just wasted money. A lot of times the teasers would have hit or they wouldn't have hit regardless. Anyways, if you're watching us, please hit the thumbs up. We're at 99 thumbs up. I'd like to see 100.
That would be nice, 100. Nice round number.
Thank you for your free picks. I appreciate you every day. Let's win some moolah. Thank you for showing up, or else it's just me and Steve talking to each other with a blank room, which is okay too. We're anti-teasers. If you need, and this is our philosophy. If you need to tease it, take the other side. Nuggets and the Grizzlies over under 213.5. I like the over in this one. I like the way the Grizzlies are playing. I understand the teams that I can understand what they're doing. I like, and I know the Grizzlies are going to be hit and miss. We took them the other night on Friday with the premium pick. They were dogs in a game that they had no business being a dog in. And, of course, what happens when you have no business being a dog? Tie game with 0.2 seconds on the clock. Ja Morant has the ball, and everybody knows what's going to happen. You know, he takes it. It wasn't like a miracle shot he threw up or anything. He just took it right to the hole and laid it in. It was like, you know, game over. It's like, I mean, no one's going to stop that. You know, on a regular basis, especially no one on the Hornets. That's for sure. But I think the over in this game, the Nuggets to me are a little disappointing right now at this point of the season. I have them as one of my teams in the West to kind of be there with the Lakers. I think the Nuggets have a chance to be there, but I think right now they're not playing like it.
No.
But you know, it's November. It's less than a month into the season. Like I said, I'm already, you know, I understand that the NBA is an 82-game season, you know, and it's like we're talking April, but when we look at the Nuggets, they're 8-3. I'm bad-mouthing them, you know, because they're not beating teams by 100. They're 4-2 at home, 4-1 on the road. You know, the Rockets are 10-3. They're on a roll. They've won 7 in a row. Meanwhile, the Nuggets have, you know. It's because they're not stringing them together. But, you know, you look at the top teams in the West, the only surprise in there is really the Suns at 7-4. And if you follow this show and you follow my stuff, we've been taking the Suns since day one this season. So
when I say the Nuggets aren't playing well, they're not scoring up to their potential right now. But
right,
like it's an 82-game schedule.
When we look at the standings real quick in the NBA, I like the over in this game. But when we look at the standings real quick in the NBA, how interesting is it if the Warriors win the lottery this year? Because right now they have the worst record, but it's kind of like the year that Peyton Manning was injured and they got Andrew Luck, where they had gone to the Super Bowl, and then it's like they, you know, because the Warriors, they have Klay Thompson coming back, you know, next year. They'll have Curry, they'll have D'Angelo Russell.
Hey, Russell's out 2 weeks now, so I mean, they're just going to pile up losses. And to your point, how ridiculous would that be if they actually got the ping pong ball? And
it's like the thing is that
not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm of them having one of the top 3 picks automatic. You know, with the at 2-11. I mean, like I said, we're 13 games into an 82-game season. You know, but. I don't know. People had given the Dolphins Tua Tagovailoa a month ago.
Yep.
Dolphins, Bills, over under 41. This is an under all day.
Yep. I concur.
Of course, if you're watching this live, be sure to hit the thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can sign up for notifications. I come on live for halftimes. I was live on 3 halftimes yesterday. I came on live on that Baylor-Oklahoma halftime. We had Baylor for the game. They were my dog of the day, plus the 10.5. And, you know, I had played them also money line for the game, so stung a little bit at the end. But we still, you know, I still ended up ahead. But the one thing that we did do at halftime, we did not make a bet on that game, but we bet App State at the halftime, and they crushed them in the second half. I think we really made some money in the second half on Memphis also in the early games, because I was watching that game, and it was one of those weird games where Houston had the ball like 26 minutes of the first half, and Memphis was up by 8 points, and you just knew, they spotted them, 17 out of the gate, and you just knew that they were going to, at that point, Houston couldn't stop them.
Nope.
So a lot of times those halftime shows, it's like we could see what's happened over the course of the game, and we could, generally if you see that situation where it's just a bad bounce here, a couple fumbles, or just, like Jim Harbaugh, we gave out Michigan the second half yesterday against Michigan State, one of my top plays yesterday, and also at halftime. And we saw during the game that, that it was close in the first half because on 3rd and 3, Jim Harbaugh's got to throw the 19-yard out pattern instead of just hitting the tight end or running the football, which they were doing effectively, or the quarterback or the RPO, right? Who doesn't like the RPO, right? It is.
Love the RPO.
Yeah. Who doesn't love it? I've always been a fan of the RPO, even before it was, they called it the RPO. We just used to call it the option. Option pass is what they used to call it. There's two games where that I used to play when I was a kid that they don't have anymore. One is talking football, which you never hear about. It was these little discs, and you put those into this player, and then you had there was all these different offensive plays. So you had a whole line of, and it's very hard to describe these plastic discs, talking football, and your opponent.
Talking football, surprisingly.
What's that?
I'm familiar with it, surprisingly.
You're not familiar with talking football?
Huh.
Oh, my God. Then the other side of it has all these different defenses. It's almost like Stratomatic baseball where you have different scenarios. And you turn the disc so it's like blitz, and so you blitz and it's like, there's gadget plays, and it's like if you blitz the gadget play, it says double reverse, flea flicker, but the blitz is on, fumble. It's like, it's like, but there was all different sorts of things, dive,
Totally.
Base 4-3, goal line, prevent, a million different ways. Gotta look it up. Mattel talking football. I was honestly the kid that had all the NFL teams with the painted helmets and everything and all the things. I had every team. And I put the numbers on them, exactly what they were, and a guy would get traded, I would take his numbers off, I'd redo it. It was like, what are you doing? It's like, you don't understand. It's like all summer long. It's like summer long at night. People are watching, stuff. It's like my family's watching All in the Family. It's like, and there's vibrating going on while we're watching. It's commercial. Don't do that except during the commercial. Okay. And then there's like the little guy, like it had like the switch on the side to turn it off and on. Oh man! All right, we're probably alienating some people here. Let's get back to talking football. How about it's Team A versus Team B with the point spread? We did this game already. Cal State Northridge versus the Richmond Spiders. I like Richmond in this one. I think Richmond's pretty solid program once again.
Those Spiders.
We'll both go with the Spiders here. 14's a big number. Oh man, that talking football. That was the game. Yeah, we lost about 100 viewers while I was talking about that.
It's okay, we'll get them back.
Arizona State, I don't know, Arkansas, I don't know what that means. Team A versus Team B with the point spread.
Yep.
Jimmy B the best.
Me.
We did this game. We did this game. We did this game. We did this game. Mike went to Rick Majerus basketball camp. That's cool. No idea what that means. It's Team A versus Team B with the point spread or total. Right there on the screen. I said, how can I do this to make it easier for people to know it's Team A versus Team B with the total? I said, put it on the screen. So I put it on the screen. It hasn't made one bit of difference. Patriots, Eagles over under 45.5. I love the over in this one. The Super Bowl was about 200 they scored.
Okay, I like the over.
You like the over?
Yeah, I do. I do.
All right. Keep going.
Same with the Saints and Bucks we talked about.
Sleeper today. I have no idea what that means, Mike. Yep, your pick's going to okay, right here, but then me too. I don't know what this means. Cap is better than Goff. We did this one. Did this one. Did this. Yep, the videos, like I said, we did this game. Yep, Georgetown, Georgia State. I enjoyed doing those videos. 76ers versus Cavs.
Cavs stink. 76ers, okay.
I'm all about the Cavs this year. They're one of my teams. I'm on the Cavs. I think that this is a team that they've quietly done some really nice things. And because all the talk is about who's not there, that was there 2-3 years ago, that we're getting good value on the Cavs this year. And they're playing hard. They're winning games. I like this Sexton. I like the Cavs a lot. I think they cover here. The Sixers, I think, are going to win the game. They're the better team, but I think they also are. When you start having the better teams have trouble covering because the public is Sixers, and beats and Meanwhile, the Cavs be the fight. Oh, Herman, my man, what's up? Cap got paid through legal. He absolutely did. It's like I'm not doing this for the money, except for the $80 million I settled for. Awesome. Can we get a 3-team parlay? Sure, I'll do one at the end of the show. Team A versus Team B versus point spread.
No?
Catch me here. What is this? What the hell is that?
The hell?
I don't even know that. Yeah, this guy's got to go. This Newman. Oh, if you have picks, they go in the Facebook group.
Yep.
All right. In the meantime, morning. Locked in. Shirts. Kings plus 3.5. I don't think that's the line. I'll take a look unless it's changed. Yeah, it is. It's Celtics -3 versus the Kings at this point. It seems light.
It seems light. I'll take the Celtics here.
Yeah, someone's got to be out for that to be that line. The Kings they started the season 0-5.
Right. Then they beat up the Knicks. It's one.
Yeah, this D Newman, you got to go, man. So he just hijacked the track.
Celtics are playing out on the West Coast. They've been out there a couple games already. I think they're settled in. I think they take care of business against the Kings.
Yeah, D Newman just hijacked.
He did.
He just hijacked the chat.
A couple of boys coming to defense. Little Rob.
How about the
Come on.
Sooners? Seton Hall, we did this pick.
Yep.
Did this. That's the Patriots, I'm sure. I like how in your NFL show this week I said I think Myles Garrett gets the Rudolph. Boy, you're right. I guess even once in a while. Yeah, I'll tell you who's been hammering me today. Speaking about being wrong, I never claimed to win them all or any of this, and you can't win without me or any of these things that a lot of the guys claim. But I will say that I picked Washington over Tennessee in college hoops yesterday, and the Tennessee fans have not stopped hammering me on YouTube. They have not stopped. It started after the game ended yesterday. I've been deleting most of the comments, but I should have left them. I mean, they have hammered me. They must be in a forum, like a Tennessee Falls forum or something, that I picked Washington. I like Washington. They've been beating Baylor. I figured if you could beat Baylor, this is what I said in the video, and this is, I'm sure, what they're crushing on. If they beat Baylor, they can beat Tennessee. Crushing me. I mean,
they didn't like it, huh?
It's like, you would think it's the only pick I ever made, you know? I don't understand this question. We did this game. Lou's already asked the question. It's one per person.
Well.
Did you guys do Ravens-Texans game? Yes, we did.
We did.
Celtics versus Kings over under 215. Over.
Over.
The Kings generally, when they're playing better, is when they're shooting them up. Did this game. I'm not an encyclopedia, that's for sure. So we did this game. We did this game. We did this game. Raiders, Bengals over under 48.5.
Over.
I like the over as well. I could see a lot of long scores both ways in that game. We did this game. We did this. Oh, I like Marquette in that one. The dog has covered in 6 of the last 7 meetings in Marquette, Wisconsin. Even though they're just a little puppy in this one, plus 2.5. I still like Marquette. Wisconsin lost to St. Mary's earlier this season. You know, this is one of those local rivalries, 2 Wisconsin teams, and I just think that, I don't know, Marquette, they always seem to feel that they're the bastard stepchild of this relationship, and they come out and they just beat up on Wisconsin. They beat them outright every single time, almost. I'll take them again. Mitch versus live shows today, over under 1.5. Well, I'll definitely be live in the early game halftimes. I might be live during Patriots-Eagles halftime. I'm not sure yet. But definitely live on the Bears-Rams halftime too. So plus this one, over. That's a layup. Pelicans-Warriors over under 228.
I go under. The Warriors are just, God, they're so decimated by injury.
Normally, I think that the injuries show up on the defensive side of the court. It's a lot of points, though. I'll go under as well. I always think that everyone in the NBA can shoot, and
sure.
It's kind of like defense is what wins championships. We did Richmond versus Cal State. Dolphins-Bills is the only game we believe we haven't done, so this will be our last pick of the show. I like the Dolphins on the money line in this one. I think they goes to a 3-game winning streak.
I'm gonna rebound with the Bills.
That Philly game, they were kind of exposed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Cleveland. They've now lost 2 in a row.
I think the Dolphins. I'm gonna go with the Bills here. I know they've been playing well.
I'll go Dolphins money line. Steve will go with the Bills. I actually like my premium picks as far as parlays go, so I would check those out, but and parlay a few of those together. But I for these free picks, I'll go with the Dolphins with the points, with the Dolphins with the points, the under in the Texans-Ravens. No, I'll go Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. We'll go all AFC East. Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. We'll my 3-team parlay there.
All right. I'll give one if you'd like. I like the Vikings and the over. Broncos, Vikings, the over. I like the Patriots covering against the Eagles. And I love the Cowboys covering against the Lions.
All right. I took the 49ers, so did Steve. Steve took the Jags. We both took the Panthers. I took St. Louis. Steve took Seton Hall in college hoops. Took the over in the Falcons Panthers. We both did. We both took the under in the Texans Ravens. I took the Jets. Steve took the Redskins. I don't know. That's
a shit game.
That game. You know the way DirecTV like sets it up. That'll be like the one in the upper left, right in the most prominent spot. It like doesn't even make sense who picks the order that they put those things in. We both. Steve took the Saints. We both like the Lakers. Both like the over in the Vikings Broncos. We both took the Patriots. We took I don't know what game this is. We took the under in the Dolphins Bills game. We both took Richmond over 44.5 in the. I don't know what game this is. Oh well. I took the Cavs. Steve took the Sixers. We took the over in the Kings game, the over in the Raiders game, the under in the Warriors Pelicans. I took the Dolphins. Steve took the Bills. I gave out a parlay of the Dolphins, Jets, and Pats. Steve gave out a parlay Vikings, Pats, and Cowboys. So Pats being the key team in those parlays. Thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. I'll be live at halftime of the early games like I always am. I might go live halftime Patriots, Eagles. I'm not sure because I do a lot of college football videos on Sundays for the upcoming week games. Such a lousy college football schedule coming up this week, heading into Thanksgiving week the following week. And then, of course, I'm live during the Bears-Rams game. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Great show. We'll see you on Wednesday for college football. And, like I said, a bad schedule of games doesn't necessarily mean a bad week of betting. It just means, a lot of not meaningful games. It's like, why does Alabama schedule Western Carolina? And why does Auburn schedule Samford? I don't know. I don't understand it. Because they play each other the following week, so they need to play a cream puff. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. I'll see you guys during halftime. Have a great NFL Sunday.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.